Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 40 of Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, in which we're going to go back and talk to the chieftain of the Sand People and present him with the Pearl of the Great Dragon to prove that we are indeed a most honorable warrior. Maybe we can finally gain his trust, because he doesn't seem to like us very much. Okay, so they still barely tolerate us. Let's talk to them.
Query, what do you wish to ask of him, Master?
I want information on the Sand People culture.
This will be a very sensitive...
Yeah, I know.
Translation. Translation. You have been told that to be considered worthy of hearing the histories, you need to bring him a dragon pearl. Translation. He says the discussion is closed until you fulfill this condition. He thinks you are just making fun of his traditions.
Here is the Dragon Pearl.
Translation. Translation. He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master.
Tell him farewell for now.
Translation. Translation. We are free to leave.
Okay. Let's go find this story. Yeah, there he is.
Translation. He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you.
I am honored. Ask him what he records. He will speak it. They don't write it down. What good will the histories be to me?
Translation. Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people.
What topics can I choose from?
Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off.
Begin the history.
Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars. Translation. There are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders.
Continue with the history.
Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the builders. The builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches, until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves.
Continue with the history.
Translation. Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free.
Continue the history.
Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things?
No, I want to hear it all.
Resignation. Very well, Master. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all as sand people, and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to come. Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation. So it is to the current sons that the Sand People hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine.
Is there anything further?
Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master.
Let's see if we can ask some questions about what we've heard.
Cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change the meaning of what was said. Clarification. They may consider this to be speaking the words in error, a blasphemy they would attempt to kill you for.
Okay, so I should probably say before I do this.
Obedient. I will ask whatever you wish, Master.
Continue the history from where we left off.
Translation. tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all as Sand people and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind. Translation. So it is to the current sun.
I'll return later.
Translation. We are free to leave.
Okay, so, save game. Okay. I want to ask him some questions about the history, see if I can get further explanation, but I don't want to insult him.
Translation. The storyteller waits for your questions, Master. Cautionary. Clarification. They appear to hate humanity with a passion only rivaled by their hatred of the Builders. For some reason, you resemble what they once were. Perhaps there is a lingering fear that you are their tainted selves returning from exile among the stars. Cautionary. Master, if you mean to suggest that humanity is ancestrally linked to ancient Tatooine, you will strain his belief system to its pitiful meatbag maximum. Cautionary. Remember my warning, Master.
Ask something about the long walk.
Master, I refuse to inconvenience you with this. He spouted names of petty tribal fights in deserts so distant they might as well be across the galaxy. Really, Master, I'm sure it's important to him, but it has nothing of value that you could ever put to use.
I want to ask about the outside. I want to ask about the Great War.
Clarification. The occupying force suffered some sort of species-wide plague that lowered their numbers over time. His people used this extended weakness to sabotage their larger ships. The response of the Builders appears to have been to lay waste to the entire surface of Tatooine.
What kind of weapon could do such damage?
Clarification. I may not have properly conveyed how long they fought with the Builders. Given time, any number of armaments could destroy a world. Hypothesis. Perhaps this is another distortion. Their climate may have begun to fail due to their unrestrained development even before the Builders arrived. Looking back thousands of years later, such a shift could easily be attributed to the much-hated conquerors. Cautionary.
Let's see. Long Great War. Time of enslavement.
Clarification. I believe they were occupied by this technologically superior species for a substantial period. Stripping an entire planet of usable resources would have taken generations.
How many of his people were taken off-world?
Translation. Translation. He has no number. He claims that those that were taken were examples of the worst of his kind, arrogant and uncaring of the land. Doubtful, Master. This is just another distortion due to their demonization of the Builders. It's like claiming an aspect of his people were taken, not actual individuals. Clearly, history has colored his view. Of course, only the inferior meatbags were taken. The remaining were his ancestors, after all. It must have been special.
Why would the invaders have done this?
The same reason Zerka Corporation is attempting it now. Expanding empires need tremendous amounts of resources.
Ask him something different.
Cautionary. Remember my warning, Master.
Yeah, I know. I want to ask something about ancient times.
It would appear that they once had a thriving, technologically advanced society, but were wiped out by a much more sophisticated alien species.
Is there anything in the galactic record that could verify this?
Negative. I am no library, but since there is no Republic record of this planet having sentient life before Zerka colonization, I doubt you will find such evidence.
Ask him about the builders who resemble... Ask him if these builders resemble any modern species.
Translation. He only understands the builders as an iconic force meant to test the resolve of his people. He is not making sense, Master. Clarification. They claim their stories are repeated unchanged, but they have demonized these builders. In their minds, they wreaked such havoc they could not possibly be flesh and blood.
Ask him if an image we could compare with current species. Can he clarify that Tatooine was long ago green with life?
Doubting. I don't believe he can, Master. Even if their stories are exact and unchanged, it is likely they were first told thousands of years after these events occurred. This has become very much like a creation myth for his people. There is no date. It simply was.
Is there anything in the galactic record? Ask him about the builders resembling modern species. I want to ask him something different.
Cautionary.
Turn to my questions.
I will add.
I'll return later.
Translation. Translation. We are free to leave.
Okay. We just got the history of their people. Awesome. Let's get out of here. Let's return to the star map. That is where we need to go next. We fought Calo Nord in the last episode. He is now dead. We don't have to worry about him anymore. I'm sure that it will not be the last group of people that Darth Malak will send hunting us, however. I'm sure there will be others. I'm sure they will attack us. I'm sure we will kill them. When they do. And I'm pretty sure that we're pretty much done with this, Shit. I didn't even see that. Otherwise, I would have disarmed it. Whatever. I can heal myself. Go back to where the great dragon was. Do we give him the item, or do we still have it? Chieftain's Gaffy Stick. We can get decent money for that. I guess we don't have it anymore. This should lead us into the Eastern Dune Sea. Okay. Here. Fine, game. I'll do it your way. Loading. It's over here. Okay, this is where we need to go. I don't need to be dressed like sand people anymore. Let's,
Ready? Yes.
Okay. There we go. Got battle armor on. We're ready to go. I think this will be the last episode I record tonight. It's 5 a.m. I really need to stop. I think it's the 7th episode that I've recorded. God. Been recording for a long time. 3 or 4 hours. But hey, we made significant progress. I think we are finished with Tatooine. You gotta wonder about that Jedi corpse there. Why would a Jedi corpse be here? Chewed Twi'lek corpse. Nothing. Just about this over here. Looks like there's some statues. Some fallen pillars or something. Star map.
Anyone else get the feeling that finding this star map in the back of this Great Dragon's cave is more than just a coincidence?
Observation. There is tremendous power emanating from the star map. I wonder if the Great Dragon was drawn to this cave because of it.
Possibly the star map is a powerful dark side artifact.
Yes, Master. I am certain you are correct. Now that we have what we came for, I do hope we will be leaving this world soon. I am growing so sick of sand in my circuits.
Okay. We got what we came for. Let us return to Anchorhead. And from Anchorhead to our ship. And from our ship to Kashyyyk, which is where I want to go next, because there is one more party member in Kashyyyk that I want to pick up. The last one that you pick up in this game, you will find out who he is and what he can do later, I guess, when we go to that world at some point. I said that once we get onto these planets, that it would start taking a lot less time to get through them. And this is what I was talking about. I mean, obviously we spend a lot less time on this planet than we did on Taurus, for example. I think we spent less time on this planet than we did on Tatooine as well. See if I can get past these guys without having to fight them. I mean, decent money, sure, but I'm sure the Zerka Corporation will like to know that the attacks from the my mind has gone blank. the Tusken Raiders will at least be slowed down. I'm sure we'll want to stop by the Zerka Corporation office and tell them and get money for the chieftain's gaffy stick. We don't need it anyway. And there's nothing else in this game, as I recall, that we would use it for, so... might as well get a little bit of cash for it, right? Plus, they'll be glad to know that at least the Sand People attacks will slow down, if not stop. I doubt they'll stop, but they will slow down. The chieftain promised us that, and we did a lot of work for him, so better damn well keep his word or we'll come back and kick his butt. Actually, we'll probably only set foot on this planet one more time when we go back and talk to Griff, which we will be doing before too long, simply because the next planet we're going to is the one that contains the tech glands that he wants us to find.
Ikukuno no ba mulira jikun. Donghit kun chonching. Ne boboje mata de punage. Dolpi kikiwana.
I didn't drop anything. I'm sorry, there must be some mistake.
Tolpa da pongwale kandu nangugu chuchut. Kavadum ku pelio botenya. Bonanai kuchu. Hawaga boska chocola. Mucha shag panka.
Thanks. What is this, some kind of con game?
Runda di hotonga kun honkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule. Tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunde mulerabes. Achuta. Wonga kun bis dolpi kikuyana. Dong patugas baktelia.
Received items. Okay, let's see, a Twilight named Sunivek has given you a data pack. He claims you drop on the data pad his encrypted message. It says to see who lost Akmanon, come alone or not at all. Okay. So we won't be taking care of that for a while. Swoop registration, that's not what we're looking for. No, this is back the way we came, is it? Cantina, no. Yeah, this is back the way we came. We want to go this way. So that guy wants us to go visit somebody on Manon. I have no idea for what. I don't remember that happening in the past. I'm sure it did, but I don't remember it. Let's see, you.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerka Corporation.
I have the gaffy sticks to redeem.
I see that, but do you have the all-important Chieftain's Gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us.
Yes, here it is.
Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there, but they'll be quieter now. I think I'll give you a bonus for this. You've more than lived up to your side of the bargain. Zerka Corporation thanks you.
This amount will suffice.
I'm sure. Zerka Corporation thanks you again.
Let's see, 500, okay.
Master?
Auto level up.
One, sure.
Let's go back to the ship. I want to visit the mechanic bench, or whatever it's called, workbench on the ship, before I take off. Hopefully it'll be smooth sailing all the way to Manon, but if it's not, you know, shit happens. I am glad that leading the small herd of Bantha to the crate dragon didn't result, and killing the sand people that attacked us as a result of that did not result in the chieftain being displeased with us and refusing to work with us. I thought that might happen, and it didn't. So I am glad of that. Let's see, workbench is here. Lightsaber, let's see. Let's see if I got any more. Nope. Okay. Weapon. Melee weapon missions. Vibroblade. Nothing I can attach to that, but Calonords, battle armor, assemble. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Let's go to the front of the ship. No, not where we want to go. Is this it? I get lost in this. Yep, this is it. Okay. Let's try talking to him one more time.
How can I help?
You wish to talk to me?
I've been watching you, studying you closely to see what kind of progress you've made since your training at the hands of Master Zar.
My progress?
I've seen how you've resisted many temptations and continue to walk the path of the light side. Very commendable. But I'm afraid you might stray from this path. You need to see what the dark side represents in its entirety. For it is what we battle. Only the wisdom of a Jedi Master can truly explain this. But I will do my best to make you understand.
What are you trying to tell me?
The dark side is not simply giving in to anger, temptation, or to use the Force to destructive ends. These things only lead to the dark side. The dark side grows stronger and more insidious the closer you draw to it. It begs you to surrender to it, to release all its terrible power, and it becomes harder and harder to resist. And once you stop resisting, it's too late. It twists you up inside and turns you into a mockery of everything you once stood for.
You seem to know that temptation very well.
I am no less resistant to temptation than any other. I simply have the benefit of training that you do not. But even the training of the Jedi might not be enough to save us. We need only to look at the atrocities which have been committed by those under its sway to understand the terrible, corrupting evil of the dark side. Millions dead, and far more suffering. What sort of person would you have to become to perform such deeds gladly?
I couldn't see myself ever doing such a thing. Are you saying that the light side is innocent of killing?
And that is why the dark side is so insidious. If you are not careful, you do not even see each small step you take towards it until it's too late. It's so easy to think that we would never fall prey to such a horror, that we have unlimited control, vigilance, and foresight. If only that were true. The Sith have become powerful because there are many Jedi who've succumbed to the lure of the dark side and joined their cause. What greater weapon is there than to turn an enemy to your cause, to use their own knowledge against them? We are weakened while they are strengthened, so we must harden our hearts and do whatever is required to fight against the dark side, even when the battle becomes wearying.
Do whatever is required, such as?
I don't know. The vision of our future is clouded by shadows cast from the dark side. But I sense something ominous lurking in those shadows. But words alone cannot save one from the dark side. Come, we should continue with the task at hand. When the time comes, I only hope we are all strong enough to do what we must.
Okay, let's talk to Karth.
Yes, what's on your mind?
We didn't end our last discussion very well.
I'm not very good at this. I know I owe you an apology. More than one, probably. I was just so desperate to finally face Saul directly in the Battle over Terrace. And now the Jedi have us looking for these star maps. I know this mission is important, it's just, I feel a bit useless. I mean, I can fight, sure, but I'm no Jedi. All this feels completely out of my league.
And how does that excuse your actions? Why don't you return to the front lines then? Maybe if you pull yourself together, you won't be so useless.
It doesn't, I know. It's been a while since I've even had to think about that sort of thing. I just hate not knowing what's going on and feeling this helpless. But I shouldn't have taken that out on you. I've been a royal pain in the backside, haven't I?
Don't worry about it, Karth.
No, I do worry about it. I've traveled the lanes more than once. I should know better than this. So, I'm sorry. Will you accept my apology?
Only if you agree to work with me for once.
Done. Let's get underway then, shall we, partner?
Okay. Let's see, Star map. Tatooine, Dantooine, Korriban, Manon, Kashyyyk. Zerka Corp Outpost. Species Wookiee. Terrain Temperate Forest. So the last thing I want to do in this episode is go to Kashyyyk. This is a forest world, if you don't know. I mean, obviously you see Kashyyyk a little bit in one of the prequel movies that we dare not speak of because they suck. We spend a lot of time making fun of those in these episodes. Because they suck. But this was kind of our first glimpse into it. The dream sequence. Huh. We arrived at Kashyyyk without incident. Forest World. And a gigantic moon. Probably want to bring Zalbar with us. He's probably eager to visit his homeworld. But we'll wait till next time.
Another vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. Kashyyyk is a lush but simple and undeveloped world. I would not have expected to find the alien technology of a star map here.
The Lego Star map was on the forest floor. Do you think the Wookiees are involved? I don't have time for your visions, Bastila.
The Wookiees of Kashyyyk make their home high among the Rosha branches. Only their bravest warriors dare to descend into the forbidding depths of the forest. If the star map is located far beneath us on the planet's surface, as our vision seems to suggest, it's unlikely the Wookiees even know of its existence. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Okay, I'm going to call it here. Thank you everybody for watching, or thank you everybody for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. It would be greatly appreciated. We'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks everybody, bye. Let's save. Save game. This is going to be the last episode that I record in this batch, so thanks everybody, and talk to you later all.